Hello everybody, I'm Seibenlore bringing you more Magic the Gathering lore. Today, let's continue our 25 cards of Christmas with card number 10, Jalira, Master Polymorphist. As her title would suggest, Jalira is a mage who specializes in illusion magic. She is aligned with blue mana, which helps her cast the spells needed to trick the minds of others. She has a soft spot for animals and wildlife, so her illusions typically take the forms of different animal species. Her love of animals has inspired Jalira to take up biology as a hobby, finding enjoyment in studying the movements and behaviors of wild animals. Her interest in animals extends past just curiosity. She uses her findings to forge some of the most convincing illusions known to her plane. Jalira is a native of Seibenlore, a plane with no short supply of unique creatures to study. Her story begins in a small town known for its traveling merchants and sticky-fingered thieves. Everyone in the town can smell a willing mark from a mile away, and they will do what they can to bleed the victim dry. Jalira is no exception. Instead of using her illusion to help her town, or perhaps provide entertainment to children, she uses her gift to steal. She would go right outside the city walls on the road which most merchants use to reach the town. Once she found a good hiding spot, she would wait patiently for a traveler to walk by. Once she found a mark with fat pockets, she would summon an illusion of a gigantic monster never before seen on the plane. This monster has never been seen before because it didn't exist. It was merely a combination of a number of different species which Jalira forged in her mind. But this was not the end of her operation. The merchant would typically make a beat for the town as quickly as they could, and who would be waiting for them? Well, Jalira, of course. She would use her good looks to calm and charm the men, allowing them to speak their tales of the terrifying beast. As the men were scrambling their minds and calming their nerves, Jalira used her light fingers to pick their pockets as they were distracted. One day she was performing her duty as she always does, but was interrupted by a rival thief named Isan, who proclaimed to be a wandering bard. The two knew each other well, but his presence was not welcome as she was with her mark. Isan was a cocky thief, using his ability to charm with the sounds of music to aid in his schemes. Yet he had no other reason to encroach on Jalira's mark other than to one-up her, which brought the pair too much attention. The guards were alerted to their activities, and soon they were surrounded by the captain of the guards and 10 of his best men, all on horses and all with their bows drawn. The pair stated that they had no intent on being arrested, and nor did they feel like being executed today. With a simple hum of his lips, Isan's melody caused the horses of the guards to buck wildly, throwing the men to the ground. The guards recovered quickly and prepared to fire at the two thieves, but blue smoke began to spill from Jalira's fingertips, and in the blink of an eye, the guards were turned into small blue frogs. The pair escaped into the woods, making off with little more than a pouch of gold and a dusty journal. Isan was shocked that Jalira turned the guards into frogs, fearing it would bring them more trouble in the future. But Jalira assured him that her spell was only temporary, and the shape-shifting was more of an illusion than a physical transformation. As they sat in the woods, they contemplated on how they could fix their financial situation. Isan began to read the journal they had stolen simply out of boredom. The journal was in fact a biologist's notes on a new species of animals he had discovered deep in the forests of Seibenlore. Isan could not have cared less, but this piqued the interest of Jalira. A new species for her to study and form illusions from was very exciting to her. The journal stated that many of the travelers and merchants had gone missing in the area, leaving all of their belongings with the creatures. Now this was something they both could get behind, bags upon bags of gold just right for the taking. With Jalira's illusions and Isan's charm magic, the pair decided to travel to this dangerous area to find the lost gold. They made it to a huge cave that was indicated on the journal as being the entrance to the animal's dwelling, and that's when the two saw them, the slivers. Huge insect-like creatures with bladed arms the size of any average human. From the creatures, they heard a humming sound which pierced their ears. They both knew that Isan's music would have no effect on these creatures due to the frequency of the hum, so it was up to Jalira to get them inside. Jalira did the only thing she could think of. She used her magic to transform herself and Isan into slivers. She didn't know much about their biology or behaviors, but still her polymorphic spell was a spot-on match. The two scurried their way into the hive, hoping to find the main chamber where the traveler's gold was sure to be held. As they passed the native slivers, the creatures paused and stared at them as if they could sense that they were not one of their own. The slivers were not their only concern, however. The humming noise was getting loud, and started to sound more like a language to the pair. They could feel their minds attempting to obey this hum, They were losing their identities and becoming the drone slivers they were impersonating. A moment of clarity was all the pair needed as they snapped back to reality and continued to the main chamber. They found the large open area with a mound of skeletal remains in the middle. Upon the bones was a sliver 5 times the size of any other in the hive. This was the Sliver Queen, the hive mind who had control over all the slivers in the area. The queen directed her gaze upon the two, and their illusion broke. The pair stood there naked, bare, and terrified to move. The slivers showed no reaction to the humans. They did not bar them from leaving, but nor did they move out of their way. They slowly made their way to the sides of the cave to collect as much gold and spare clothing as they could, and inched their way out of the hive. Once out, they calmly walked out of danger with no incident occurring. They both reveled at what had just happened, how they almost became assimilated to the hive, and how the creatures just let them leave. Jalira was ready to leave, but Yisan was entranced by the creatures. He decided to stay put and study the power of their music, this humming they heard. He hoped that this sound could unlock the untold potential of his charm spells. Jalira wanted her friend to leave with her, but her pride was too strong for her to say anything to that effect. She just gathered up all of the gold and left without saying a word. So, there you go guys, the lore behind Jalira, Master Polymorphist, and the 10th card of Christmas. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and make sure you return tomorrow for the next card of Christmas. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.